students, I am Jamima. Today I am very glad to make this presentation for you. This is mainly meant for 6th semester commercial practice students. I am going to briefly discuss about SEBI, and this portion is taken from 4th module of capital market. Let's start with a brief introduction of SEBI. SEBI stands for Securities and Exchange Board of India. Prior to the establishment of SEBI, the Controller of Capital Issues, short form CCI, was the regulator in charge of capital markets in India. The Controller of Capital Issues was established through Capital Issues Control Act in 1947, same year as India's independence. It scrutinizes the application from companies that wanted to raise funds from the public, mostly through an initial public offering. The biggest drawback of CCI is that the official didn't have the experience in the field of business, economics and finance. In such a painful situation, Government of India wanted to correct these shortcomings and re-establish a new institution which will renovate our capital market as well as our economy. For this purpose, Government of India abolished CCI and decided to start a new institution. SEBI established in 1988 through an executive order issued by Department of Economic Affairs. But at that time, SEBI doesn't hold many powers. So the central government decided to grant statutory powers to SEBI by passing SEBI Act in 1992. Its headquarters located at Mumbai, and SEBI has 4 regional offices at Chennai, Ahmedabad, Calcutta and New Delhi. The next we move to organization structure of SEBI. There are mainly 9 members on the SEBI board. One is chairman and other 8 members are board members. Chairman is appointed by Government of India. Then the other 2 members are officers from Union Ministry of Finance. Then the other 1 member is from Reserve Bank of India, and the other 5 members are nominated by Government of India. So these are the 9 members. First one is chairman and the other 8 members are board members. Out of this 3 of them are whole time members. This is Mr. Ajay Tyagi, present chairman of SEBI. Then next we move to powers of SEBI. SEBI provided with many powers and authorities to make effective control of our stock exchanges. First one is powers relating to stock exchanges and intermediaries. SEBI has wide powers regarding the stock exchanges and intermediaries. It can ask information from intermediaries regarding their business transactions, and it can also inspect their documents in the documents of stock brokers, depository, banks and clearing houses, etc. Then the second one is power to impose penalties. SEBI impose penalties on members and other participants such as stock brokers, depository, banks, if they make any violations of the rule. Then the third one is power to regulate, power to initiate actions. That means SEBI has many power to issue guidelines to intermediaries or can issue new norms and conditions for protecting the interest of the investors, etc. Since the establishment of SEBI, it issue many rules such as prohibition of fraudulent and unfair trade practices in 1995, depositories rules in 1998, etc. Then the next one is power to regulate insider trading. SEBI has the power to regulate insider trading, and insider trading means trade of the insider. And who is the insider? Insider means the person working inside the company. So such persons are it include key managerial persons, then auditors, directors of the company, etc. These people have an easy access to the confidential information about the company. So, they may use this information for trading companies' shares and stock. Then the next one is power under Securities Contract Act. After the establishment of SEBI in 1994, our Ministry of Finance delegate many of its powers to SEBI. Under this arrangement, SEBI empowered to nominate 3 members to the board of every stock exchanges in India. So, SEBI can nominate 3 members to the Bombay Stock Exchange. Similarly, SEBI can nominate 3 members to the National Stock Exchange, like that. Then the sixth one is, the last one, power to regulate business of stock exchanges. SEBI is also empowered to regulate the business of stock exchanges and their intermediaries. Intermediaries, mutual funds and venture capital. Intermediaries means the person who is working between stock exchange and investor. Then mutual fund is a financial institution which mobilize the savings from investors and use this savings for investment in shares and debentures. Then the venture capitalist is a new term. Venture capitalist is investors who ready to invest in a risky projects. Then we move to functions of SEBI. First one is protect the investors. SEBI formed primarily for protecting the interest of the investors. So, the first function is protect the investors. Then the second one is promote the development of securities market. SEBI introduced electronic platform for buying and selling of securities and also converts the paper documents into demat form. Now, shares and debentures, share certificate all are converted to digital form. So, that is the demat form, means the digital form of shares and debentures. Recently, SEBI introduced a system is called SCORE for e-lodging of complaints. If we want to make any complaints, we can use this new system called SCORE to quick filing of complaints. The next is regulate stock exchanges. SEBI always keep an eye on each and every stock exchanges. That helps in creating a safe and transparent environment for government as well as investors. Then the fourth one is regulate intermediaries. SEBI regulate intermediaries by their registration, and SEBI issue various guidelines, code of conduct to them from time to time in order to maintaining the law and order in the market. Then next is regulate foreign institutional investors and rating agencies. Foreign institutional investors means the investors who make investment in the paper assets such as shares, debenture, bonds, etc. If in case of foreign institutional investors, if I say an example, Mr. John is an American who wants to make an investment in Indian stock exchange. For this purpose, he needs to obtain specific approval from SEBI for investment because he is a foreigner. The next, regulate venture capital fund and mutual fund. SEBI regulate venture capital fund and mutual fund by its registration and supervise their functions also. Then the next one is prevent unfair trade practices. In order to prohibit fraudulent and unfair trade practices, SEBI issues certain rules called Prohibition of Fraudulent and Unfair Trade Practices in 1995. Then next, education and training of intermediaries. SEBI arranges various training sessions to the intermediaries of stock exchange as well as investors. Then next, prevent insider trading. Insider trading, we already discussed it about the insider trading. Insider trading means trading of the insider. This insider trading is happen when a company pre-announces its stock market conditions. But SEBI now banned such activities and also impose heavy penalties for insider trading and other malpractices in a company. Around fine is like 25 crore rupees for if any company do insider trading, then it has to pay a fine of 25 crore rupees or 3 times of profit made out of this activity, whichever is higher, as well as imprisonment. Then next, regulate mergers and acquisitions. Merging means two companies becoming one. For example, Bank of Madura merged with the ICICI Bank, and the another new merging is going to happen on 1st April. India going to witness a mega merge of banks. In such a situation of merging and acquisitions, acquisition means a large company acquire a small company. In such situations, SEBI checks whether the merging of companies take place for the developmental purpose or they make any harm to the capital market. Then next, conducting research. In order to SEBI conducting research and other developmental activities in order to promote our stock market, and all information about the research activities of SEBI available in the official website of SEBI. Then next, we move to objectives of SEBI. SEBI has mainly 4 objectives. First one is to regulate the activities of stock exchange that we discussed earlier, such as issue of rules and guidelines from time to time. Then the second one is SEBI protects the rights of investors in order to ensure the safety of their investment. Then the third one is prevent fraudulent and other malpractices by imposing heavy penalties. Then next, develop code of conduct to intermediaries for the smooth running and transparency of stock exchanges. So as I conclude, there are main contents included. So these are the main contents included under the topic SEBI. Stock market is a barometer of economic health of every country. If the investors lost their trust in functioning of stock market, number of participants reduced to minimum. And foreign institutional investors as well as foreign direct investors. Foreign direct investor means investors who make the direct investment in the productive resources of a host country, that means a foreign country. They withdraw their money from our country. So our foreign exchange reduced to a great extent. In such situation, our country faces a tragic situation. That is, it is very difficult for us to make imports of country because our foreign exchange is reduced to minimum. Before the establishment of SEBI, there are a lot of scams and corruptions in stock exchanges. One of the famous scam at that time is Harshad Mehta scam, and after the establishment of SEBI, stock market becomes more transparent and viable. Now SEBI's vigilance mechanism is more powerful, so it actively participated as a watchdog of Indian capital markets. Then these are the reference I am used for this making this video. Then okay students, thank you for watching this video.